Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for Little Goody Two Shoes. So dear viewer, this particular video game originally released in 2023, a year I remember fondly as the year I played a hell of a lot of video games. I'm surprised I had time to eat or go to the toilet. I played that many games. Ha ha! But we're not here to talk about just any old video game. We are here to talk about Little Goody Two Shoes. And just like that beautiful bearded bastard Barry Bertrum, you're probably wondering,
what is this?
This is a role-playing adventure/horror video game with a particularly splendid anime-inspired visual style. We play as a girl called Elise, who attempts to avoid horrific monsters in the enchanted woods whilst searching for a way to escape her mundane life. And trust me when I say, dear viewers, there is a lot more to this game's story than what I just said. So instead of me continuing to talk about the story through fear that I might spoil anything, let's instead review this video game the only way I know how, badly. And let me just start with what I absolutely love about this game. Now, if you've been paying attention already, you'll notice I used the word splendid anime-inspired visual style. And this game's visuals, particularly its cutscenes, look like they were spat onto your video game television or monitor by bloody Sailor Moon. And trust me when I say that is not a bad thing. The game's cutscenes, as well as its moment-to-moment gameplay, are simply gorgeous, darling. Gorgeous, darling.
Why did you say that twice?
Because that's how damn gorgeous it is, Bertrum. And from what I understand, this game was either made in RPG Maker, or inspired by it, or some such nonsense. I don't really understand RPG Maker, but if you're able to make a game as amazing as this in it, then I might have to invest some time into RPG Maker myself. Make that video game of ours come to life, Bertrum, eh?
Oh, the one with the rude title?
Yes. Robin Crowley and Bertrum Butler starring in From Bumhole to Mouthhole. Coming 2027 to all video game stockists. But anyway, we're not here to talk about our upcoming video game. We are here to compliment Little Goody Two Shoes. And to go along with the absolutely stunning visuals, we also have an absolutely stunning soundtrack. One moment it's quite comical and quirky, the next minute it's bloody terrifying. One minute it sounds like something out of Final Fantasy, the next it's driving you to pure insanity.
Nice rhyme!
Yes, I know. The game also has a couple of musical numbers, which for a musical theatre fanatic like myself is a recipe for me to either download the soundtrack post-haste and or release sperm into my underpants. That is to say, I love it when a video game has a musical number in it, and this one has several of the bloody things. And the more catchy than anything you would find the Spice Girls singing. Haha, the Spice Girls is still a thing, isn't it, Bertrum?
I don't think so.
Oh, damn. I'd be remiss if I also didn't mention how much I absolutely love this game's story, particularly all of the twists and turns that it takes, as it goes from your kind of cutesy RPG adventure game into a full-blown horror experience, reminding me very much of that game Doki Doki Literature Club. You know, you're just going along, you think you're playing a very nice, visual novel, and oh my god, someone just killed themselves! Not that I'm saying that this is a visual novel or anyone kills themselves in this game. But let's just say that the direction that the story goes in is so bloody dark, you'll probably need a powerful flashlight to navigate it. And I loved every single second of it. This game also has some light dating elements. Basically, there's 3 characters in the game that you can spend time with and romance. And this will play a big part into the ending that you get at the end of the game. And speaking of the ending, this game has 10 of the bloody things. And to explain how you might unlock these endings, I better talk about this game's gameplay. So this game essentially takes place over the course of a week. You'll wake up each day, head into the local village, witness a story event or 2, and then you'll have some choices in how you can spend your time. You can obviously hang out with your love interest, like I mentioned before, or you might choose to try and earn some money by participating in this game's side quest / job system. And each of these jobs are essentially cute little mini games. For example, there's one where you chop wood, another where you essentially throw a rat around. Don't ask me. Another where you attempt to collect eggs from chickens. Like I said, they're all very cutesy and they're all pretty fun. And often you'll be presented with situations where you have to choose between either hanging out with a potential love interest or taking on one of these jobs. But it's when you get into the later parts of the day that the story really comes into play.
Oh, another nice rhyme.
Thank you, Bertrum. I'm on fire today.
Oh, I better go and get the extinguisher then.
No, Bertrum, not like that. I'm not. You're looking at me, Bertrum. Do I look like I'm on fire?
But you just said...
I know what I just said. Go and do something productive, Bertrum. You don't usually intrude on my reviews like this. Go on, get out. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So it's in the nighttime portions of the game that you start to encounter a lot of those horror elements I mentioned before. And I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say, using RPG terminology, this is where you will go into the game's dungeons. But don't worry, there is absolutely no combat in these dungeons. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to be contending with some, let's call them, terrifying entities. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But no, this game has no combat to speak of. Though, there is a particular encounter that we would maybe term a boss fight of sorts. And the game will pretty much continue on for that for the 10 or so hours it may take you to get to your first ending. And these endings will be dictated by certain story events. Let's just say there are certain items that you may have to procure, and also your bond with the game's love interest. And don't worry, dear viewers, there are plenty of guides online that will tell you explicitly what you have to do to unlock all of this game's 10 endings. In fact, I myself haven't even been able to unlock all 10 of the endings due to a little, shall we call it, an error that I made in one of the days in the game's story. But trust me, dear viewers, I had such a great time with this game, especially unlocking the endings that I managed to get in my first playthrough, that I will have absolutely no hesitation in going back through this game again. Maybe 2 more times, maybe 3. we'll see how I'm feeling. The only negatives I can really talk about in regards to this game is that while the game does say it has voice acting, this is that kind of anime lazy type of voice acting where the subtitles will come up in the screen and the character won't voice the lines. They might throw in the occasional word or two or grunt. You know, the occasional ah or oh or ha ha or oh. You know, that kind of thing. And I did find some of the game's later dungeons, until I was able to figure out what the hell I was actually doing in them. I did find some of them starting to get a little bit frustrating, especially considering that we can't fight back against enemies. And there was one dungeon in particular where trying to obtain all the objectives while outrunning these bastards was a little bit of a pain in the jacksy. And while it did have a bit of an effect on my enjoyment of the game at that precise moment, looking back on it now, when I go back through the game again, like I've already said I'm going to, that dungeon will probably not present too much of a problem to me. So in conclusion, dear viewers, Little Goody Two Shoes is unlike anything I've played before, I think. This is a very cutesy, funny, quirky little fairy tale that suddenly becomes something out of a bloody Hammer horror movie. It's cutesy, it's scary, it's incredibly unique, and therefore I have absolutely no hesitation in declaring that Little Goody Two Shoes is splendid. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another review by yours truly. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.